Just past a dead cat. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? It is Friday, 49 degrees here in Adams County, Pennsylvania. Heading into Gettysburg, just a little bit out of Fairfield right now. I originally was doing this over on Facebook, but after a couple minutes, it was a paltry viewership. So I was like, you know what? I want to do this today because I want to connect with people. I feel like connecting with people. So I'm going to go over to YouTube, where it's usually a more active and larger audience for now. We'll keep working on building up Facebook again. So, how are you all today? I am great. Thanks for asking. Got to go to the airport tonight and pick up actor Eric Nelson, who you might know from his role in 1883 as Elsa's cowboy love interest in the beginning, the first love interest before she falls in love with the Indian guy, and I don't remember either one of their names. Hey Jeff, good morning. How are you? Jeff, you still coming to the tour next week? I hope so, because you're gonna need to. You're gonna need to. Anyway, what was the point of what I was saying? Oh yeah, so then tomorrow I'm kind of entertaining him, just kind of, hanging out, seeing what he wants to do for a little while. Then I got to take him to the set for some stuff, and then he's shooting on Sunday, and then we're shooting our Tavern Talk on Sunday. So I have a very busy weekend. Hopefully somewhere in there I'll find the time to read about John Brown. Francis, good morning. Working on your book. Good. Keep it going. Wundermunke, woohoo indeed. Jeff says, was just listening to last night's AG today. Great stuff. I was laughing a lot. Good. Ian was a good guest. Very good guest. And afterwards I said, I think we should do some World War I stuff together. And I told him, I was like, I don't understand that war at all. I don't understand how it started, or when I hear what caused it, I'm like, why? I don't under. And then it was horrible. And for what? And he's like, I would love to do that episode. And I was like, good. Then that is what we will do. And then Debbie had a great idea that 6 Questions texted me to invite him on during season 2 of Tavern Talks. And so I'm going to do that as well. I think that would be a really good Tavern Talk to do about World War I. And let's hope we can get the funding for it. Let's hope we can get the funding for a season 2. And that really all depends on how much you guys like, share, and subscribe, and all that other stuff. If it gets lots of views and good reception from the audience, we'll do more. If everybody's like, this sucks, we've got a whole quiver full of ideas. Good morning, Matthew. Thank you for the super chat. And I will get myself a coffee. Thank you once again. Good morning, 6 Questions. How are you? Good morning, Dubai. Sarah, good morning. Planning your big trip to Boston next year. Oh, very nice. What brings you to Boston? Good morning, Chuck. How are you? I haven't been to Boston since I was a Cub Scout. We went there on a trip. I don't remember much. I barely remember yesterday. We're going down Confederate Avenue, West Confederate Avenue. There's several Confederate Avenues. Usually when people say Confederate Avenue, this is what they're talking about, but it's West Confederate Avenue. There's also East Confederate Avenue over around Culp's Hill. And then there's Confederate Avenue up by the Peace Light. Oh, yeah. Good morning, Valerie. Good morning, Ron. There's the McMillan House. You'll often hear this referred to. This is what they're talking about, the McMillan House. The McMillan Farm. To the right of the road is McMillan Woods. That's where the McMillan Woods campground is. And stuff. Good morning, Chris. And good morning, Chris. There's 2 Chris's in there. Good morning, guys. So I'm going to hopefully get an interview with Eric Nelson. Obviously, we'll talk about 1883, but I told Bo if he gives me access, I will try to weasel some interviews out of the actors to promote the next Gettysburg Christmas. And we'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes. David, good morning to you. Edward, happy Friday to you as well. It is a great day today. It's 50 degrees now, warming up. I don't know what it's supposed to get up to. I didn't look at it, but it's beautiful. Sun shining, no threat of rain in any direction, although it usually comes from the west. And it is just beauteous. I'll show you Pickett's charge here. Let these people cross, and we will then go around the loop here. Dave, hello. It is a beautiful day for a drive. Yes, it is. Jeff says, I see the dirt is going in on Baltimore Street. Must be cool to see the area transported back to 1863. Well, that's what I'm going to do after I go to the UPS store. I'm going to come back to town and do a live video of that. I'm sure somebody's already done it, but obviously you've seen it. So, but who does banter with an audience like I do around here? Huh? Nobody. Exactly. It's you know. So we'll do that for you in a little bit. How's the mood there with the shutdown? Well, it depends on who you talk to, I guess. As far as visitation of the park goes, the only thing that's changed is that there's no ranger programs. I don't know if there were ranger programs planned anyway. I don't keep up with the schedule, so I don't know. Obviously, if you work for the park, it's not a happy day for you because you're not working. However, you get back pay when it's over, so, you know, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, you know, I don't get back pay. So, you know, there's that. But other than that, the mood, I haven't noticed anybody really lamenting it. It's just part of life, you know. Government, I was interested, or not interested, but I was intrigued to learn that the government shutdown, the first one we had was in 1980. So like all through history before that, I think that's kind of interesting. We haven't had it all throughout our history. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nothing really has changed for the average person. You know, and people who are not going to visit, if they're, here's the thing, I don't know, the visitor center is still open. That's run by a nonprofit. The licensed battlefield guides are still giving tours. Honestly, I think you should always spring for a licensed battlefield guide. The Rangers do a great job, but they don't take you around the whole battlefield. It's a specific section of the battlefield. And though it's free, you can't get them on demand. and they don't always run them. So a licensed battlefield guide is absolutely the way to go. 10 times out of 10. I'll always tell you that because I believe it. And I say that out of the kindness of my heart. I don't receive a guide or a dime from the licensed guides. I just believe in them and I believe in what they do. Obviously, that's why we feature them on the show. I just think they're great. And speaking of featuring them on the show, if you're a new guide and you'd like to come on, please reach out to us because we'd love to have you on whenever you're ready. There's no rush. And frankly, we're booking out, I think, into the winter already. So we wouldn't have you on anytime soon anyway. So, feel free to reach out. And if you're a listener and you're coming to Gettysburg and there's the certain guide or certain couple of guides that you enjoy listening to on the show, and you would like to take a tour with them, reach out to me and I will put you in touch with them. And you can, book them. I got to come up with some kind of a booking system so that you don't ever have to really contact me. Not that I wouldn't love to hear from you, but sometimes I drop the ball because sometimes people will contact me either too far in advance or too close to when they're coming. And if they catch me in a busy moment, first of all, I don't check my emails every day, and so I might miss you. There have been times where somebody's like, it's on a Friday and they're like, hey, I'm coming to town and I'd love to take a tour with, so-and-so tomorrow. And I don't see that till Tuesday. And, I kind of feel bad, but I got to come up with a system where it's easier for you guys to directly contact them. The thing is, I'm uncomfortable just publishing guides' email addresses. Some of them say thank you for that attitude. Others say they're okay with it because the email address they have was created for guiding business. So, but I think I should just talk to them all, get a consensus, and then figure out a way to make it work for them. Because I think they'd be able to get a lot more tours. Ralph calls me his publicist because of the amount of tours that he gets. And he was actually, I believe the story goes that he was on a tour that he got from a listener. So in other words, he was hired by a listener of the show. And while out on that tour, he was stopped by another listener of the show who said, I recognize your voice from addressing Gettysburg. And I thought that was pretty cool. And that's what I love to see. That's the one thing, I guess, if you had to say, are you proud of anything that you've done, I would say that is probably it, is that guides are getting business off of the show and authors sell books off of the show. That's great. All right, let's see here. Oh God, we got some more comments. Sorry, I was prattling on there. Valerie, the leaves are finally changing. Yes, they are. Matt, no back pay for you, just back pain. That's referee. That's right. So spare me. Barbara says, hello, I had to leave last night. I'm listening to the remainder of the show. Just started the news. Yes, Barbara, we missed you last night. We saw you had to leave because you had another meeting. As long as it was an addressing Gettysburg meeting, like book club or something like that, or film club, that's okay. Francis says, my son's in the Army, not getting paid, but have to go to work. Does he get back pay? I'm sorry, it sounds heartless, but like if somebody gets back pay, I understand a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. I've had to do that, but I never had a big chunk of money come to me at the end of that paycheck to paycheck. I got out of the paycheck to paycheck by figuring out a better way to work. Not saying that your son or anybody is not doing the best they can do. I'm just saying that if money comes in the end, I don't know where my sympathy is supposed to be. It's a vacation. It's a paid vacation. Not for people who have to go to work, though. Yeah. The Mellow Marksman, do you live at the Gettysburg address? Do I live at the Gettysburg address? I do not. You're not allowed to live there. It's a cemetery. Most people are dead. there. But I do live in Gettysburg. Well, I live just outside of Gettysburg. Is Sherman and Garfunkel opening for Hall & Oates? Yes, they are. Now today the chat is staying up, which I like better. Yeah, YouTube is annoying. I thought Tony Braxton Bragg was the opening act. Tony Braxton Bragg has a residency in Vegas now, so doesn't need an opening act. Yes, he will. He's doing okay. No worry. Okay, good. Yes, the back pay is good. That sucks though, to have to work and not get paid while working. But again, it's coming. So let's see. I'm not going to be able to. All right. I'm going to do a separate video on the movie set. So right now I'm going to go through Culp's Hill. I got to go to the UPS store. So we'll take you there with me, and then we'll call it a day in a sensible way and still be friends. Look out for yourself should always be the rule. Give your heart and your love to whomever you love. Don't you be a fool. What is that song that I just quoted there? Oh yeah, I can see the dirt up the road. All right, we'll come through. You know, it's funny. I don't know if you, Barbara, you might not have gotten to this part of the show yet, but last night we talked to Tad about the movie stuff and how people complain. And one person commented on one of the movie's social media videos that, I hope the movie company is paying for the tolls for the spots they're taking up. First of all, of course they are. Indirectly or directly, I don't know, but they have to pay to shut down the road. Anyway, it just set me off because these people who, I guarantee you, that person has produced nothing in their life. They have always just gone into the stream, but they never actually diverted the waters or did anything productive to benefit their society, whether it's in entertainment or in anything, innovation, whatever. That person has always been, I don't want to insult anybody, but whatever. Never produced anything, that's all I'll say. And it's just so petty and annoying, and I don't know why people have to be that way. And then there's other people, and they're making the second one. And then that was like literally 2 days before they announced where you can go and view a Gettysburg Christmas, which is, as I understand, I know you can see it on Prime. There's a couple of other platforms. I don't remember what they are, but you can see it on Prime now. So, sorry. Babber says, I wish both sides would stop all the childish nonsense. It's just ridiculous. It is. And, I'll say this thing in defense of government workers. Lucky for us, we can turn off the TV or whatever our news medium is and ignore it. And we can go out for a walk and we don't have to think about that. We don't have to worry about that. Half the country believes when the government shuts down, we're free. Others believe it's the worst thing in the world because they rely on it too much. And those are two very different countries. Those two attitudes are two very polar opposite. In other words, oil and water. And it's just another indicator of where we are. And yeah, I wish everybody could grow up. Just grow up. But they won't. And that's too bad. That's too bad for them. But I, rise above that bullshit. I won't engage. Partly for my blood pressure and partly for the dignity of the person that I'm about to engage with. Ty Webb, I guess this is a hint as to what song that was I was quoting. He says it's from Money and Cigarette's highest charting song. No, unfortunately it isn't. I wish I could write a song as lovely as that. I don't know who wrote it. I suspect it's Cole Porter, but I could be wrong. But Frank Sinatra did it. It's called Don't Worry About Me. Ron says, the friend I brought to Gettysburg and the Antietam hike really enjoyed it. He is already asking when we can come back. I turned him on to AG, and you now have a new follower. Great. Thank you very much, Ron. I appreciate that. And yeah, didn't we have a good time at Antietam? I was very pleased that it all went swimmingly, and everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. And it was a nice mix of familiar faces and brand new faces. And by the way, I want to thank you all because all but one of the attendees was from Addressing Gettysburg. And so you guys really came through for us there, and we appreciate that immensely. Wonder Monkey says, are you typically busy after the Get Out of the Car tours? Would love to hang out for a minute or have you show us around if we can get down there for it, but I understand you're a busy guy though. Typically after the Get Out of the Car tours, when they're here, we all go to usually the Farnsworth House, and you just reminded me I should probably contact them and let them know we might be coming in. That is, yeah, God, I'm not going to get anything done this weekend. Okay, so that's all right. There's always Monday. Maybe. I don't know. I might die today. Who knows? But yes, who is that? Wonder Monkey? Yeah. I would, certainly if we're going to do lunch afterwards, that's usually what we do. This year, it's the last one of the year, so I tend to like to hang out a little longer afterwards because typically you don't see everybody until April. And I do, you get used to seeing the same people, and then you kind of miss them when the winter comes along. So I do like to spend a little time extra afterwards. So we go to lunch after, so join us for lunch. And then after that, I don't know, we could play it by ear, but I'd love to take you around. I do like to do that. It depends on what the missus, so to speak, wants to do. Dennis, good morning from Richmond. Good morning from Gettysburg. How are you? The sound, yeah, that might be the connection. I don't know. The sound is subject to the same interference as video is. But yeah, it could also be just go out and come back in. Where's the meeting spot for the next Get Out of the Car tour? It is at the Warfield House. Someone brought it to my attention that it is not in the description, so I sent it to Mike. I said, can you put this in the description, please? I don't know why I wasn't there in the first place, because Lewis usually writes those and puts that in there. But anyway, yeah, it's at the Warfield House, so you park near the Longstreet Tower, but I believe our permit does not allow us to park in the parking lot. So you have to park along the road. And don't take up the parking lot because we have to, as I said last night on the show when we talked about it, when you get a permit, you become a second-class citizen, and you have to treat yourself like you have to behave like a second-class citizen. So we are not allowed to park there. We're supposed to park everywhere else. So you might, you can park by the Louisiana Monument, the Mississippi Monument. There's parking spaces along the way. I would do that. You could park after the Longstreet Tower. You have what's it called? Parking spaces along that side of the road. But as long as there's no sign that says no parking, you can park anywhere. Just keep all four wheels on the road. That is how you park legally. Up ahead, you'll see where they've got everything closed off for the movie. And I can't obviously go up there, so we're going to go to the right here. There it is. We'll do another video of that in a bit. And now we're going through, this is Lefevre Street. This is where all the schools are. So the speed limit here is 15 miles an hour. And that is painfully slow for a Jersey boy. There are signs in New Jersey with 15-mile-an-hour speed limits. No one in New Jersey has ever driven that slowly, except for when they're just starting out and slowing down. And usually we gas and brake so hard and fast in New Jersey that we are at 15 miles an hour for less than a second. So it's something odd. Let's see. Let me go 15 because I was following that guy. I was going 20. Here's 15. Oh. It's like being pushed by two old ladies. Come on, girls. Push us along. We're trying. Give us a break. And we're going to go out to Route 30. There's a UPS store. Actually, Colby's buddy Tommy, you remember Colby's podcast, and he had his co-host, Tommy. Brett is his real name. Brett Thomas. Well, he was just as sad and devastated when Colby left us. He abandoned him too. And so he put all of his sorrow and depression into opening a UPS store. And so now we have a UPS store over in the shopping center that's out near Sheetz and Walmart and all that stuff there. So I got to go return something to Amazon. And I said, oh, let me take the opportunity and bring it to Tommy's store and say hi to the kid. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Michael says, I'm currently living in New Jersey. I can agree with you. Good morning, Tim. How are you? Barbara says, yeah, I even hate going 25. Yeah, 25 is just as bad. Awful. First of all, what are you accomplishing there, right? I mean, I understand you have a better chance of surviving when you get hit by a car going 25 or 15. But it's still not fun, right? Still not fun. Dennis says, hanging out with my 2-year-old grandson. Oh, that's nice. Do you still have your studio? Which format do you like, mobile or studio? I still have my studio, yes. Thank you for keeping up with us. I have my studio. It's behind the future expansion of the Gettysburg Museum of History. So in other words, at this point, it's right next to it on the other side of the alley. That's in the back, though. But we've had that since, when did I move in there? 2023. So 2 years. It seems longer than that. Is that right? Yeah, I guess it is. Eric left at the end of 22. Yeah, 2023. And we've been in there, and it's nice. I definitely need to expand, though. Definitely need to expand for what we're working on. So I'm looking for a second space for video production. We'll see. Highly doubtful I'll find it, but we'll see. Do I prefer mobile or studio? I prefer studio. Mobile, there's too many variables. I do like bringing things to people live, and obviously you have to be mobile to do that. So I do like doing that. But I hate cell phone quality stuff. I hate the video quality. I hate the audio quality. I hate being slave to the connection in the area. So like there's parts of the battlefield I won't go to because I lose signal, and I don't like that. Also, if I'm on camera when we do something mobile, the camera people never follow my instructions by shooting me from the sternum up, and so we never put out anything because my giant belly is showing, and I hate that, which is why I've gone on a very strict diet now. So I prefer the studio. There's a lot more control. You can use better quality equipment. Well, you can use better quality equipment out on a mobile shoot, and we have it, but I have a lot more control in a studio, and that's what I like. Also, it's more comfortable. There's fewer distractions. You sit there, you talk, you can make eye contact with your guest, and actually have a connection. When you're doing it, say out on the battlefield, and your guest is standing next to you, but you're also playing to the camera, it's kind of awkward. It's an unnatural position to stand, and I don't like that. It just doesn't feel comfortable for me. But I'm gonna have to get over it because we're gonna start doing a lot more of that stuff next year. But that's a good question. Thank you for asking. Don says, I was in Wyoming a few weeks ago and the speed limit was 80. Oh, what a wonderful place that must be. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, I'll have to take you into the Abomination one time, to my right here. I call it Abomination Gardens. That's the apartments and townhouses and Aldi that is built on Camp Letterman. One of my friends is looking at a place in there. I'm like, oh, you're gonna live in Abomination Gardens? Or no. Did I call it Abomination or Atrocity? I don't know. Which one do you like better? We'll stick with that one. Atrocity Gardens or Abomination Gardens? Let me see. Barbara has a question here. She says, Matt, question about Patreon videos is, can they be casted to TV? Good question. You should be able to do it. If you can do it with YouTube, you will be able to do it there, because we're still going to use YouTube until they improve their live streaming ability, their native live streaming abilities. Where the hell am I going? So I'm not trying to go here. I'm used to going this way, and but this isn't where I'm trying to go, ladies and germs. So I'm gonna go this way here and go to where I need to go. Yeah. So when we move, I'm assuming you're asking because we're talking about AG Today moving. When we move to Patreon for AG Today, it's still going to utilize YouTube. It's just going to be unlisted on YouTube, so it won't show up in people's notifications and stuff. It won't be publicly available on YouTube. Now, between now and January, they might be improving that. Patreon might improve their ability to do that and the quality of it. And if that's the case, then we're going to probably use it native. There's Chris Morano. He's over there, and this guy better stop for me. Okay. Yeah, but I have to test that out. I got to work at that a little better and see if I can figure out why the quality is just so shitty. I'm just guessing because it's a new feature they have and they haven't worked it out well enough. But I could be wrong. We will find out sooner or later. All right, let me finish up these questions here. Gaslight Studios rebooted says, do you think wargaming helps give a better understanding of combat and tactical limitations at a command level? I actually do. I do. Yes. I don't really have any more to add to that, but I totally do. And I guess even first person, if they're done really well, they give you an idea of how limited your field of view is and your awareness of what's going on around you is. Babber says, Matt, oh, sorry, I already read that. Ty says, Matt would work those old ladies like Yosemite Sam. Yeah, all right. I'm here at the Up store. You guys have yourselves a great day. Look for a video. I'll see if Bo will come on with me and show us around the set. All right, you guys, peace out, yo.